Hello, real estate agents. Welcome back. The question of today is, have you ever dreamed of selling real estate while you're sitting on a lounge chair on a beach, right? Maybe drinking a little pina colada, or some of us have dreamed of maybe moving to another city or country, yet the majority of us don't do it. And why is that? Right? We're worried about how we're going to make money, what's going to happen to my real estate business, right? But the good news is the path has been blazed. In fact, I've been doing it the last few years to the tune of closing 524 transactions over the last 2.5 years from a remote location. So you can absolutely do it too. And I'm going to share 3 simple tips for you to be able to run your business from anywhere in the world. Hi, I'm Guillermo Salas, former attorney turned real estate agent in the Philadelphia area. And I've been running my business remotely for 2.5 years. I'm going to share every tip and trick and system and tool that I use to build multiple leverage businesses and multiple passive sources of income. So all you gotta do is hit that notification button up there, subscribe to my channel, and you'll hear about all the content before anybody else. Okay, let's jump into it. But before we get into the how, let's just talk about the mindset, right? Yes, you can do it. Yes, you can run your business from anywhere in the world. In fact, you've already done it, right? Think about it. If you were a real estate agent during the COVID era, that 2020 to 2021, you were already running your business remotely. You weren't showing houses in person. You weren't meeting people in person. So you're doing your buyer consultations and seller consultations remotely. You weren't showing houses. You had to find a way to show houses when you weren't able to physically get into it. You weren't going to closings. You weren't signing documents in person. So the path has already been blazed for us. It already existed. So that's the piece you sort of got to jump into first, is the mindset of this, not the like, hey, I can't do this. This is hard. This is impossible. It isn't hard. It isn't impossible. In fact, that's what got me out the door and into another country, because COVID showed us that we could absolutely do it and live our dreams and live our lives and run our business by our own rules. The other way of thinking is somebody else's rules. Somebody else's rules who has an agenda that's not in alignment with you. So first things, just the mindset part of this thing, allow yourself to just accept the fact that it is possible because you have already done it. So now the how. Tip number 1, technology tools, right? So we've got to leverage technology, and it doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, as I've been gone remotely, all these systems and tools that I had that were sort of complicated, I've actually unwound a bunch of them and gotten really skinny on a number of tools and systems that I need to use. Number 1 is the CRM. You've got to have a CRM. In fact, I'm doing another video series on simple uses of the CRM, but that one is super important. You want to keep in touch with your clientele and have them on a simple follow-up system. SOI is super important. I'm talking to them 4 times, minimum 4 times live a year. And you're going to use social media as sort of an extension of that, right? And then in my CRM, I'm making sure anybody that I've worked with, whether it's a buyer who bought a house or somebody who's maybe thinking about selling their house, use the technology and the systems within the CRM. And what I mean by that is a market report, right? You should be sending them at least once a month. Might get away with quarterly, but I do it once a month of what's going on in their neighborhood. It's like how many houses sold, where the price escalations are going, price devaluations are maybe going. And then I'm also setting them up on a market valuation for their particular house, right? That's perfect because that's the come list me calls, right? They've been getting information from you once a month for 5 to 7 years, right? Because that's the average people stay in their homes. And they're going to think of that, when they're ready to go sell? You, the guy who's been sending them information for all that time. So that's super important. You want to lean into other things, like you want online tools, right? You really want to lean into signing documents through DocuSign or SkySlope or whatever it is. In fact, a big part of why I moved my entire organization over to XP is to serve that purpose. Everything is online. I didn't need to go into an office. So whatever it is, again, and whatever brand it is for you, just lean into those online tools, including things like video software for your listings. And we're actually testing quite a bit AI responders, right? So as leads come into your funnel, we've actually had a lot of success over the last 2 weeks, 18 set appointments. And that's a series of text messages and phone calls. These AI guys sound exactly like agents. Like, it's remarkable. Is it perfect? No. But I've heard some of the agents on the phone calls. That's not perfect either. And so key number 1 tip is lean into your technology tools. It doesn't have to be complicated, but you definitely want to use those such thing. For instance, another one is video conferencing technology, right? So that you can have your buyer consultations and your listing consultations on there. And it works. It happens for sure. Tip number 2 is the people side of things. You want to create a network of people who can help you for those things that need to be handled on the ground. And for me, I used my team for that. But honestly, just like technology, as I got away from it, I realized it didn't need such a complicated structure, and neither do you. You don't need a team in order to execute this process. And so what does that mean? And just a couple key people to put in place. For instance, number 1 is a showing agent, right? And there's plenty of people out there that will go show houses for you, or handle the inspection stuff, or open the door for whatever reason that you may need during the home selling process for I don't know, $15 an hour, $25 an hour, whatever it is, flat fee, X amount for so many homes showed. Those people are there. And so you get people in place. And I have a showing agent model, and that is great. You train the person up if that's sort of you're like, hey, I want them to be exactly the way and show houses exactly the way that I show houses. Well, I've got a model for that. How they go show the house, how they prepare to show the house, how they communicate with the client while they're at the home, how they report back to you, how they report back to the clients subsequently. So there's a process, not overcomplicated. It's a simple checklist. But more importantly, just find somebody who will show the houses for you and represent your brand really well. Same thing on the listing side of things, right? If you've been in the business quite a bit of time like me, most of the houses, you can just list from location. Right now, I've got about $12 to $15 million of listings up that I have not had to do anything for. Like, I didn't go to the listing appointment. These are just come list me calls, right? And so the market, the properties, you probably actually don't need to see them in order to price them correctly. But for those that maybe are new, haven't seen, establishing a co-listing arrangement, somebody that you trust out there, absolutely is the way to go. And then, the other part is the customer care. So once you put it under contract to close, you want that customer to be handled really, really well. There's a lot of administrative support out there. Now, for me, I hired somebody in-house, but you don't have to do that. There's lots of third-party companies that will do contract to close services for you. In fact, a lot of brokerages now offer that service in-house. So you handle that. And then the last part is just have a great network of other resources. It could be lawyers, it could be accountants, it could be handyman, whatever it is. They can handle all the stuff on the ground for you. Tip number 3 is an effective communication and marketing strategy. Right? You can't go away and then just stop talking to people. That doesn't work. That'll never work. That's the secret agent. It doesn't matter whether you're in the country or out of the country, in the city or outside the city. You have to communicate effectively. And that's a form of like 33 Touch. We've talked about that in the past. Newsletters. Just for me, I make sure that my SOI, I'm putting a reminder to talk to them at least personally once a quarter. If you're traveling back to your hometown where your business is at, right? Make sure those are personal touches. You schedule those like, hey, we're going to have coffee, lunch, dinner when that happens. So that is super important, as well as remaining on top of the market, right? The beauty of the internet is that you can gather information anywhere in the world. So just because you're away from the market doesn't mean that you can't still be an expert in that market, right? Just eat it up. Digest all the information, study the market, and then put content out there on social media or your newsletter or email marketing that demonstrates, hey, I'm still active in the market. I still have houses that I'm selling. I still have buyers that I'm working with, so that they know that you're still actively running your business from a remote location. Easy peasy. Well, that's it. 3 easy tips on how to run your business from anywhere, right? Leverage technology, lean into it heavily. That's literally the way the world's going anyway. So why are we avoiding it? Number 2, have a great network of people who are going to support you locally. And number 3, have an effective communication and market strategy. We can't be a secret agent. And even more important than those, starts with the mindset. Know that you can do it. If this is the life that you want for yourself, why wait? Right? What are we waiting for? Tomorrow is not promised. And all those other sort of like, hey, you can't do this and you shouldn't do this and it's not the right thing to do for your business and your income, that's somebody else's agenda interfering with yours. Like, just understand, the system, the old-fashioned system, is set up for you to stay in a stable, right? Stable is just an enclosure for animals. Like, I hate to call it that, but that's what it is. Keep you in place, keep you on that hamster wheel. Life is too short. Live it by your own rules, right? Refuse to let other people run your life, run your business in a way that you don't want to and that doesn't serve your life. Awesome. In the meantime, go out there and cause and create miracles. If you want to learn more about this content, please, my calendar link is right there. Just schedule a session with me. I'm happy to go through these topics and any other topics. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you hear about the content, and the notification button so that you hear about the content before anybody else. Have a great day.